Hello, hello. Okay. Okay, so just wait for one more minute and we can start our sections. Okay. Okay. So it's time's up. So can we start our JavaScript second day workshop? Okay. So I hope that your first day goes very good, and I get lots of response from you all in the live chats. I hope that today we're going to see the same. Okay. So today's we're going to cover some of the continuation of the topics we discussed in the previous day. Okay, so what are the topics we have discussed in the previous day? We have discussed about what is variables and what is data types, right? So that was the topics we discussed a lot, and today we're going to discuss about more about methods and arrays and object. Okay, so we're going to see about what is array, what is object, and all those things, and we're going to see about what is string and string methods. Okay, so let's get started with all those things. And if you have any doubts, please bear with me, and I just give a time in between. After taking some of the few concepts, I give time. You ask us if you have any doubts, you just ask there in that time, or otherwise I just give 5 minutes in the ending of the section, and we discuss about all about the next, what about your doubts, and what you want to know all about that in JavaScript. We discuss it later. Okay, so and also you will get your attendance form at the end of the live section. So so be present till the end. Okay, so can we continue? So shall we continue our session? Okay, so as I said previously, we're going to discuss about now we're going to discuss about JavaScript and JavaScript methods. Okay, so this is what we're going to, so sorry, in JavaScript we're going to see about strings and string methods, and we're going to cover about what is array and what is object. Okay, so we're going to put our hands dirty in these topics today, and also if we have time we move on to the loops and all. Okay. So in the previous class we have discussed about the primitive data types, right? So the 5 common data types we have discussed. Among them, the first and also the most used data types we see is the string, right? So what is a string actually? A string is a sequence of character. We have discussed what is a string or all those things. So how can we declare a variable? And with the string data types we can declare a variable by using, like, simply we can say let, and you need to give an identifier, which means the name. I just say name, and here I just give like the name of a person. Okay, so this is actually what is this? This is a variable, and a variable with the data type of string. Okay, with the date, it has a value, and that data is a data type of a string. How can we identify whether this data type is a string or not? We can use the console to display our output, and we can use that type of method. This is what we have discussed in the last session, right? So last uh, yesterday's class, right? So what the type of do? The type of returns the data type of the variables. Okay, so what is the variable here? The name is the variable. I just put inside this type of, okay, so type of method, and I just save this, just run it. Here you can see it gives me a string, so it is a valid string. So what is a string? What are the condition I said to creating a string? Everything that comes under double quotes, single quotes, and also a thing called backticks. Okay, so everything that are considered as a string, so we discuss about that. Okay, so the first basic thing we're going to discuss here is about string concatenation. So what is meant by concatenation, right? So this is string and we're going to discuss about string concatenation. Okay, string concatenation. So what is meant by concatenation? Concat. Okay, so what is meant by that means, so joining two letters. For example, if the user is giving his first name and the user is giving his last name, and I need to join this two names of a person and I bring them to a single one. So how can I do that? So that is called as concatenations. Okay, so how can we do that? There is two ways to do that. There is, we have an old way to do that, and also we have a new way to do that. And the old way is using addition operator. So what is mean by addition operator? I think you are familiar with the mathematics, right? So you are familiar with the basic mathematics which you learned in your school days, right? So that is what we're going to see. We're going to see about the old ways how to concatenate a string. So let us consider I have my first name. Okay, so I just call let first name. Okay, let first name, and I just give the name of a person. So this is the first name, and I just declare another variable, and this is for the second name. Okay, so second. Okay, so usually I use camel case, second name, and here I just going to give the last name. Okay, so I just say the last name of a person. Okay, so last name of a person. So now what I want, I want the full name. Okay, so what I want, I want the full name. So I need to join this first name with the second name. Okay, so we can say this is just a last name to whatever you want, the whatever you want to give the name, you can give it, you can give. Okay, so no problem with that. So how can I do that? So I just going to say let full name. Okay, so let full name is equal to, and here I just going to say first name plus. Okay, so what does plus operator do? So what this here the plus operator do? It's going to concatenate. What it's going to do? It's going to concatenate. Let's see, I just going to say first name plus second name. Okay, okay, so and I just going to say console.log, and here I just going to display this variable. Okay, let's see what is our output. Okay, I'm done, and I just refresh, and here you can see I get the full name, right? So what I get the full name. Okay, so I get the full name of a person. That is called as concatenations. Okay, okay, so the same thing. So this is actually what about concatenation, and this is a pretty old way. Okay, so here I just going to say another sentence. I just going to say console.log, and here itself we can declare with the double quotation, and I just going to add some sentences. Okay, so here I going to say my name is, and if I want to add that variable, I want to add this full name. Here what I want to do, I just want to use a plus operator, and I just want to call this. Okay, so why I want to use the plus operator? So because in plus operator the string is used for the concatenation method. Okay, so it's going to concatenate. Okay, so I just save this and I just refresh it, and you can get here, you can see this string is comes from this console. Okay, type of console, and the second string Hari Prasad is come from this console, and the final last console is coming from here, the console. My name is full, and I just give this variable, and here you can get the variable. Okay, so this is a pretty old way of doing concatenations, and now we have, so if you want to use concatenate two variables, you can simply use this plus operator, no problem with that, right? So if you have like you want to add this name in a like more parameters, like sorry, no paragraphs or no sentences, like more sentences are there, and you can use another thing called template literals. Okay, so this is a new feature for concatenating a string. Okay, we call this as template literals. Okay, something like that, and this is introduced in 2015 ES6. Okay, So I already told that ES6 is a pretty advanced, and that is going to be useful to work on with your frameworks like React and all those things, right? So ES6 is the modern JavaScript thing. Okay, so template literal is also introduced in the modern JavaScript. So how can we do that? I just copy this code, entire code. How can we concatenate by using template literals? What we can do, I just remove this thing. Okay, instead of using double quotes, single quotes, all those things, we can just go with the backticks. Okay, here you can see backticks. So where can we found this backticks? So the backticks is found above the tab key. So in your keyboard, there is a tab key is there, or you can find number 1, and uh, before number 1 you can find the backticks. Okay, so in the tab of approximate symbol, right? So you can find the backticks, and here inside the backticks, whatever you written, that is also considered as a string. Okay, I already told everything that comes under double quotes, everything that comes under single quotes, and also everything that comes inside the double backticks. Okay, so not double backticks, that is also considered as a string. Okay, so the backticks is used for using the template literals. So the same thing I'm going to use here, the same thing. Okay, so here I just say my name is. Okay, so if I want to add this variable, okay, if I want to add this variable, instead of using this plus operator, what I can do, I just use a template literal syntax. So what is template literal syntax? For using the template literal syntax, you need to call the variable with the $sign and with the curly or mustache braces, anything like we call this as a curly braces or mustache braces, anything. Okay, so whatever you call. Okay, so inside this, you need to declare the variable name. Okay, so if you called inside the variable name, it will work. Okay, so how can we do that? We don't do this plus and all those things. We just call the $sign and we open the curly braces, and everything happen inside the backticks only. Okay, so I just call this full name and I copy this and I paste inside this. Okay, so now we have declared so much of things. Okay, so now I just refresh here, and here you can see my name is Hari Prasad. This is work because of this backticks. And whatever thing you want to add additionally, you just go and give here, like give a space, and my name is Hari Prasad and my age is, and I create another variable by using let age of a person. I just going to say I'm 21 years, like that. Okay, so a person with the age of 21. Okay, I just going to say 21, this is the number. Okay, I'm going to add this. And how can we add? We just say the template literal syntax $sign with a curly or mustache braces, anything, whatever, and I just going to say call the variable. Okay, and age, and I just refresh here, and you can found my name is blah 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 blah. All right, so my name is Hari Prasad and his age is 21, right? So all the things, right? So this is how it happens. Okay, so this is the way of concatenating strings in JavaScript. Okay, so this is a way of concatenations, and this is all about concatenation. The next thing we're going to see is we're going to discuss about the string methods. So what is a method and what is the purpose of using string methods? Okay, so in JavaScript I already said that everything is an object. I just say that everything is an object, and there is lots of properties is there, method is there. Okay, so the method is pretty useful, and we can say the method is an some of the inbuilt functions that provided by the JavaScript. Okay, so for example, if you want to declare a variable, what you want to do, you want to call that keyword let, and if I want to log in the console, what is the thing I use the console.log, right? The same like this, there are several methods that is useful for string. Okay, so by using that methods, we can capable to work several functionality. So okay, so that is what we're going to see. Okay, so I just going to remove this. Okay, and we're going to see about string methods. Okay, so I just going to create a string first of all. So for creating a string, I just call let, and for I just going to create a string. So I just going to say string, and here I just going to say hello JavaScript. Okay, So I just created a string. Okay, so this is a valid string, and I'm going to perform several string methods. And I'm not going to use all the string methods in JavaScript, because I think it's around 23 to 24 string methods are out there in JavaScript, I think so. But it is good to go with some 4 to 5 6 string methods. Okay, so how it works, and you can capable to work with other string methods too. If you are capable to do this thing, and you can also capable to do that thing. Okay, so here what I'm going to do, I just going to work with the string methods. Okay, so what these methods do, so this methods is used to manipulate this string. Okay, so manipulate this string according to our wish. Okay, so some inbuilt functions it's going to do, some inbuilt actions that's going to do. So that is what we're going to discuss now. Okay, so I just going to say console.log, and the first string method we're going to see is string length. So what is the purpose of using the string length means, it returns the length of the string. Okay, for example, I just going to use that. So for using string length, first what you need to do, you need to call the variable. Okay, so the variable name is str. So I just going to say str, and you want to call that method. What you need to do, you need to put a dot, and you need to call that length. Okay, so length is the method, and this is a method, so it followed by the parenthesis. Okay, so if you after we discuss about the objects, you can able to understand this much more better. Okay, so right now, if you want to use some methods, what you want to do, you just want to call that variable, and you need to put a dot operate dot sign, and you need to give, for declaring that, you need to put a dot, and you need to say which method you're going to use, and everything it is a method, you should be followed with the parenthesis. Okay, so after doing this, you can see what will happen. It returns me a number, and it shows, oh sorry, string method is not a method, it's a property, sorry. Okay, oops, just a minute. Okay, so there are several. So in an object, there are two things is there. Okay, so in an object we have a property, and also we have a method. Okay, so a property is nothing but inside an object there is a variable that is considered as an property. Okay, inside an object there is a function that is considered as a method. Okay, so length is one of the property. Okay, so what this property if you do means, what this property do means, this length property do means, it counts each and every characteristics and returns how many characteristics are there. Okay, so here you can see in hello JavaScript, here it returns me 16, right? So the output is 16. So there are 16 characteristics is available in this string. Okay, so and you have a doubt like if whether it is calculate the white spaces too, the answer is, I remove the white space, and here you can see it shows 15, which means it also calculate the white spaces. If I remove this two, like I added two white spaces, hello Java, and I just give a white space, and I just give a script. So there are two white spaces is there. So right now it is 15. I added two white spaces, so it's going to be 17. You can see that it's going to be a 17. So this length property, what it does, the length property, it returns the, here I can write, it returns the length of the string, length of the string. Okay, so how many characteristics are there, so it returns the length of the string. Okay, so the next thing we're going to see about is how to convert this thing, this entire variable, entire value into an uppercase. So what is meant by uppercase? Like capitalize. So like usually we fill the form in capitals, right? So that is called as capitalization. Like everything that here you can see H in capital letter and E is in small letter, right? So I want every letter to be in the capital letter. Okay, so here the method is going to be useful. Console.log, I just say, and I just want to call the variable, and if you want to use anything, you need to put the dot sign, and I just going to use, here it is a property, so we don't want this parenthesis. Okay, now we're going to use a method, so we want a parenthesis followed by the method name. Okay, so the method name is to uppercase, and this is a method, so you need to put the parenthesis. So what is the difference between a property and what is the difference between a method? So in a property, it is a variable. Okay, so a variable inside an object, that is called as property. A function inside an object, that is called as method, and we discuss about all those things in the object class. Okay, so now just understand, if you want to use the property, you don't want this parenthesis, but if you want to use a method, you need to put followed by the name, you need to put the parenthesis. Okay, so what it going to do, I just going to refresh it, and here you can see every string that I have returned, everything in a capitalized, right? So I just written H in caps letter and E in small letter, and all other things are in small letters only, right? But here you can see in the output, everything will be converted into capitalized. Okay, so now you can understand what is the purpose of using methods, right? So the method, it's do some works, it does some actions, and it is an inbuilt it do some inbuilt JavaScript action, and it reduces our work manually. Okay, so if I want to change, let us consider, if I want to change an 1000 word paragraph. Okay, so 1000 word paragraph, I want to change that manually. What I want to do, I just want to go and everything, and I want to type everything, or otherwise I can use the loops, all those things, and I can create a method. So instead of that, there is some default methods are defaultly available in JavaScript. You can use that. Okay, so among them, to uppercase is also one of the method to use. Okay, so to uppercase, what it does, it returns with capitals, with returns with capital letters. Okay, so that is what it do. And the next thing is about the same, like to uppercase. What the to uppercase do, it returns all the strings into a capital. Now what I going to do, we going to return all the strings into a small letter. How can I do that? So there is also an inbuilt method is there. We can do that by using console. I just don't want to type every time, so I just going to copy this, and I just show something a little bit quicker because it is easy to understand. Okay, so I just going to say to lowercase. Okay, so to lowercase, and I just use the JS pin, and here you can see everything is in lowercase, right? So here you can see everything is in upper, here the H is uppercase and the S is in uppercase, but now here you can see everything is in lowercase. So what the to lowercase method do, it converts all the method into an to lowercase. Okay, how to make only the first letter uppercase, you can use a capitalize. There are several methods out there, so I just going to say here just, okay, so I already told that there are lots and lots of method available in the string, right? So we're going to cover few of things, and you get a doubt like how to make same like how that 𝐏𝐚𝐫𝐭𝐢𝐜𝐚 asked, right? So how to make the first letter capital, so you just use the googling. Okay, so I just going to say in JS, how to make the first letter capital. Okay, so because I told that there are so much of functions are available, and so much of things are available, and you can just first letter capitalize, you can use the capitalized functions, and so many things are available. Okay, so you can use that. Okay, and by using this, you can identify which one is going to be used. Okay, so there are I think around 25 methods is available. Okay, so 25 to 26 methods are available inbuiltly in JavaScript. Okay, so we're going to see little bit about. Okay, so you just google it and you can find out that, like for example, to capitalize the first letter, you can use caret. It is also an inbuilt functions. Okay, so and we also, and then you use this to uppercase. So what is this caret function do means, it particular character, it select the particular characters, and you can use this function for that particular characters. Okay, so and by using this, you can able to capitalize the first letter itself. Okay, so I just So just give a couple of minutes. I just show you how to capitalize the first letter itself. Okay, so I just show you. Okay, so the next method we're going to discuss now is substring method. Okay, so there are two things available, the same like substring and also called as string str, like substring like string. Here we can have a substring method, and also we have a string str method too. Okay, I just type console.log and I just going to say string dot substring. So what does substring do? So this substring, what it do means it slice out. So what is mean slicing? It cut out. For example, this, consider this is the sequence of character, right? So this is a sequence of character. Now I want to cut this. I want to cut this hello only. Okay, from this sequence of character, I need to cut the hello only. Okay, I need to cut this this word only. So how can I do that? So you can do by using the indexes. For example, you can use you need to give two parameters here, and the first parameter is where to start. So in string, the first indexes, here you can see the h. So where it belongs to? It belongs to in the 0th position. The string is in string, the string starts from 0th index. Okay, so the h is in 0th index, and I need to say the end of the index. Okay, so where I want to finish. So I can say that h this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So I'm going to say about 5. Okay, so what it going to do? It going to slice this part only. It going to slice this part only. Okay, how can we do that? I just refresh this, and here you can see the hello is from this entire sequence, the hello is sliced out, right? So from this entire sequence, the hello is sliced out. And also we have some other methods too, like for example, if I go here and I just going to use the inspect and I go for the real console instead of using JSBin console, I just go for the real console and I just give a little bit higher. I hope that it will shows you. And I just going to declare a variable here, let I just copy the variable, like I just copy the variable and I just going to paste it here. Okay, and I just paste it here, and I just going to say str dot, and here you can get, it is a string, and here you can get so much of thing, right? So here you can see what all are the methods available here, it going to show. Okay, so like we have discussed about what is two uppercase method, two lowercase method, and we have a string method and all those things, right? So, and we have discussed what is caret, and someone asked me how to capitalize, right? So I just going to use the caret and I just going to give the index here. Okay, so here you can see we can fetch the first word only. So what this caret do means, it take the first word only. Okay, so I just here we made a, okay, so someone asked me that, we just finish out that. Okay, so what this substring method do, it slice out that, it slice out, and we have another method too, like sub str. You can see instead of substring we have sub str2. The same thing it also do. If I say the same indexes, here you can see 0 to 5, right? So I just going to say 0, 5, and it also, here you can see it also slice out hello separately, right? It also separate it separately, right? I just going to use this here, and I just say console.log, and I just going to use this method, and I just run this for just a minute. I just refresh here, and here you can see both the substring and the sub str do the same thing. And what is the difference between substring method and sub str? If I remove the second parameter in sub str and I just refresh it, you can see it will work, right? So if I remove here, it will do, right? So what it does means, actually the sub str, if you need to give an end parameter to slice out, right? Okay, so in substring you need to you don't need a second parameter, but in sub str you need a second parameter, right? So so what is the question? So someone asked how to capitalize the first letter itself. Okay, so I just going to small it. Okay, so first I just going to small it, and now what I going to do, I just going to use the console.log. Okay, and here I just going to call that, and I just say char, and what is the function name we have discussed? It's like substr caret. Okay, so caret is the function, so we just call it here. Char at is the function, and here inside the caret you need to show, you need to give an index. So the first letter you need to display the first letter only capitalized, right? So I just want to give the index. Okay, so give the index 0, and I just refresh it, and you can get the first letter as small, right? So here what I'm going to do, I just put dot uppercase, dot to uppercase, uppercase to uppercase, and I just going to use this method. Okay, and I just refresh it, and you can see you will get this first letter, the letter, the string of the first letter will be here, or otherwise you can store it in a variable, and you can store it in a variable, and you can make it. Okay, so you can change that you can get the entire paragraph itself. Okay, so this is all about strings. Okay, and also we have include method. So what this include method do, this include method check whether the given word is present inside the sequence, inside the string or not. Okay, so we have includes method, and here it's Java is present, right? So if it is present, here you can see I just say Java, and I just give like this, and I just refresh here, and here it returns the boolean value true. So which means Java is present. And if I just remove this, and I just called like JVA, so this JVA is not present here, this word is not present here, right? So and I just refresh it, it returns me a false. So this indicates that this indicates that this letter is not present. Okay, so this is all about strings and string method, and there is so much things are available. Okay, so much of methods is available. I hope that I hope like around we have 20 to 24 methods are available, and everything you can see. You just, if you have a doubt, you can just work it out. You just call it in Google, and you can able to find out the answers. Okay, so that is how it works. Okay, so yeah, I think it's around 20. Okay, so it's around 20 methods are available in the string methods. Okay, so that is more than available, and it is around 20 methods is there. And the main difference here we discuss about what is substring and what is string, right? Okay, the in substring method we need to give the true arguments, but in we need to give the true arguments. Sorry, sub str method we need to give the true arguments, but in the string method we can able to give one argument itself, it will work. Okay, so that is the difference between substring and, for example, if I say here, if I say 4, okay, and same here, if I say 4, and I just refresh it. Okay, so both will use the same work, but the main feature is substring is not work with the second parameter. Second parameter, but substrings work with the second parameter. So that is the main difference. Okay, so if you have any doubt with that, you just Google it for the additional method, some of the additional method. So what are the some of the additional methods we have? We have like we have trim. That is used to avoid the white spaces. We use some extra white spaces like this, and we use the trim method to avoid the white spaces. And we have like split is there, and split, what the split method do, I just give a demo for split method because it is very useful. Okay, so I just say console.log, and I just say string dot split method. Okay, so if I say simply like this, if I call a split method simply like this, you can see this entire string is converted into an array. Okay, so till now we don't discuss about array, but we see that. Okay, so you can see that is covered with a square bracket now, so that is called as an array. So okay, so the next topic is an array. That is what we're going to see now. Okay, so and what the split method do, it converts a string into an array, and also you can capable to give give the separator to. So if I give an empty string and then if I give an double quotes and I give an white space here, it's going to separate by the white spaces. You can see it is separated by its white spaces. You can see so much of white spaces in the front, so it separated each and every white spaces. So we don't want this so much of white spaces. Okay, so I just refresh it, and now here you can see each and every word is separated into a separate array, right? Separate array, and it is placed. Okay, so and also you can give, like, you can separate it by using comma, and each and every word is separated. Like, I just want to give a space here. Okay, and you can give whatever the separators you want, you can able to give. I just give a dash here. Okay, so everything works fine. Okay, so these are the methods, that inbuilt method that works, that's going to be helpful. Okay, so that is usually going to be helpful in the string methods. Okay. Okay, and I already said there are several other methods, like replace method is available, and so many things, so many other things are available, and you need to bear with us, and you need to take your own effort to learn all other things. Okay, so but these are the most common methods. Okay, so the next topics we're going to discuss is all about, I think, array. We're going to discuss about array. Okay, so array is also a most important topic in JavaScript, because in the real world we mostly work with arrays and objects. Okay, so we come into what is an array, and here you can see this is an array. Okay, so here you can see this is an array. Just remove this, and this is an array. Here you can see hello, this is an array. So I just explain all the array methods very clearly. So we're going to see how to create an array first of all. So what is the syntax of creating an array? So you need to call a variable. I just going to call const. Usually this object and arrays are called with const, because these values are not changeable values. Okay, so we want those values are not changed. In case any mistake, we don't want that value to change, we use the const. We discussed that const in the previous section itself, and we can use that. Okay, so array is what is meant by array. So usually what we do, we declare a variable and we store a data, right? So we declare a name and we store a data like this, right? Something like this. What if I need to store a multiple data in a single, sorry, I need to store a multiple data in a single variable? What can I do? Okay, so array is nothing but it stores a list of values in a single variable. So how can I do that? For example, I just going to declare, and I just going to say about a lang. So this is the variable name, and for declaring array you need to use the square bracket, and I just going to declare all the values here. So I just going to say about JavaScript, just to go a little bit faster. Okay, for the time convenient, and I say C++, and everything's a string, and I just going to be declared all those things, and it's be caps. Okay, so and I just going to say like Python, and I just going to say HTML, like this, so on, so on. So what I'm doing, so here it is a single variable, but it has multiple values, right? So it has a multiple values, right? So usually if I declare a normal string, what I do, I just call, like what I do, I just go to the console. If I want to call, that means what I do, I just go to the console and I just call the variable like lang, like this, right? So and we refresh it, we get the value right here. But you can see here we get an array, a list of array. Why this is called as an array? In this variable we have we have more than one values. Okay, so that is called as an array. So what if I want to access this first one? Okay, I want to access this first one, and I want to access each and every values individually. How can I access that? So you can access by using their indexes. Okay, so I can write here array is access by their indexes. Okay, so by their indexes. So what is meant by index? So index is a space where that value is present. Okay, so a nice example is you have, I think you see about that egg cell, right? So we have like 12 egg cell and we put an egg in each cells, right? So we put an egg in the each cells, and that cell is called as index, and egg, and that egg is called as value. Okay, so the same like it is an index. So and here another thing you need to note, array index starts from array index, it starts from 0. Okay, so in the 0th index JavaScript is present, the first value is present. Sorry, in the first index, this in the first index C++, the next value is present. In the second index the Python is present, and the third index it is present. Okay, so we can access by array, we can access an individual values in array by using their indexes, and that indexes starts from 0. Okay, so for accessing an array value you need to put the square bracket, and inside the square bracket you need to declare the indexes. So right now I want C++, so it is in first index, so I just going to call the first index and I just refresh it, and now you can get only C++. You can see only C++ is getted, right? So this is how we access an JavaScript. Okay, so if I change this to 0, you can get JavaScript. If I change this to 0, you can get JavaScript. If I change this to 8, okay, if I change this to 8, so actually 0, 1, 2, 3. So only the length of the variable is 3, 4, right? So 0 to 3 indexes is present, but I calling 8, so it isn't undefined. Okay, so if you are calling an indexes which the value is not present, if the value is not present, if we call the string, that is called as an undefined. The same like this here in a JavaScript, if the value is not present in an indexes, which means it does not reach that indexes, that is also considered as an undefined, which means it is not defined. So if I call the defined indexes like 2, okay, so here you can see we can get Python, right? So Python, so we can get that value. So if you are declaring an if you are declaring an more than the indexes value, so you get an undefined value. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so this is how you need to access. Okay, so and now we're going to see about how to add and value into the data type. So here you can see there are so much of values added. Okay, so JavaScript is one value, C++ is one value, Python is one value, HTML is one value. Now I want to add CSS and I want to add some programming language. How can I add that? So there are several methods actually present there to work with the array. Okay, so how can we do that? We can do that like you can use, first you want to call that array, and you need to put a dot, and here there is a method called pop. So what this pop method do? The what for adding, so for removing you need to use the pop method. Okay, so this is going to remove and value from a data type. So it remove from the lost. Okay, so what is mean by from the lost? It's going to remove a value in an array, and that should be the last value in the array. Okay, so we can consider this as last comes first. Okay, so if you want to remove a value at the end of an array, you can use the pop method. If I use the pop method and I just I just going to call this console. After this, I call the lang now, and you can see the HTML is removed now. I just refresh here. You can see the HTML is removed now. So why? Because we use the pop method. So the pop method, what it do means it remove the last value in an array. Okay, so that is what you do. So right now I want to add a method. So how can I add that method? So you can add a method by using push method. So you can use push lang dot push. Okay, so I just going to say, and inside the push you need to give what is the value you're going to add, and I'm going to add CSS. CSS is the value I want to add, and now I just call this method. I paste it, I just refresh here. Now you can see Python is removed in pop method, and by using push method I added CSS. So now the array contains the CSS in the last, and you have a doubt like why it is added in the last. So that is what I say, that last comes, this is called as last comes first method. A best example for this is, for example, consider a variable. What is a variable? A variable is a container. Okay, so if I added a first value, okay, if I added a first value, consider a variable as a box. Okay, so it is consider a variable as a box, and inside the box I am adding the first variable. So consider this note as a first variable, and this is my first value. So what is the first value? JavaScript. Okay, so it is the first value, and this is JavaScript, and this is added. Okay, on the top of it I am adding another value. Okay, so that is C++. Here you can see that is C++. I'm added. Okay, on the top of it this value is added, and I'm adding so on thing and so on thing like this. Okay, so now inside the box, which values added last, that comes first. Okay, so if I say I want to remove, so what happens? It removes the last value. Okay, so it removes the top value. So here it is the top, considered last is as the first. Okay, so it removes the top value, and if I want to add something, what I want to do, I need to add on the top of the below value, right? So this is the basic principle happening here. Okay, so this is called as last come first. Okay, so this pop method removes the last data type of an element, and this push method removes the first last add a value in the last. Okay, so that is what it do. Okay, the same like this. How can, so it is not possible, and you think like it is not possible to add something first or remove the first element I want to add before it. It is possible, yes. So here it is last come first. So who comes last, they become first, right? So this is an this is not a correct way, right? So they are like they come last, but they work as first, right? So here we're going to see about first come first. Okay, so if you want to remove a first value in an array, and you want to add an first value in an array, or remove one first value in an array, you can going to use this. Okay, you can use lang, I just comment it of this. You can use lang dot shift. You can use lang dot shift, and I just call this, what it do, it removes. Okay, it removes the method. If I refresh, so it removes who comes first. So it removes the first element. Okay, it removes the first element. Let's see how it works. So I just copy and I just paste it here, and I just uncomment of it and just refresh it, and here you can see JavaScript is removed. Okay, so this is, can we consider this as a queue? This is considered as a queue. So what is meant by queue? So I think if you are a 20s kids, you don't know about how banks works, and in recent days there is a long queue is always there in bank. Okay, so what happens if you go for a bank, they give a token. So if you go first, they give the first token. If you go second, they give a second token. Okay, so likewise there is 10 people is standing, and the person who had the first token, he's standing in the front. Okay, so after completing the request, or the deposit money, or whatever the query for the first person is completed, they call for the second person. So likewise, it is, the queue is for first come first. Who comes first, they give priority. Okay, so that's why. So that is what do the shift method removes the first element, and we to add an element in between, in the front of the first method, what you can first value, you can use the same lang dot unshift. So what is unshift method? It used to add element, add value in the front. Okay, it is used to add value in the front. You can use like and you need to tell them which value I just going to use. Okay, so I just want to add now the JavaScript is removed, right? So I just going to say React. I just going to say React. I just want to add the React. Okay, so I just copy and I paste it. I just refresh it, And here you can see the first one, the unshift method removes JavaScript, and the shift method removes JavaScript, and the unshift methods added the React framework in the front. Okay, I hope you familiar with these methods and all. Is there any doubt till now? Is there any doubt for us? Is there any doubt for you? Any students have any doubts, you can ask. Okay, till that. Okay, so our this time is going to end, so we can take at the we can take the doubts at the end of the 5 minutes too. Okay, so the next thing what we're going to do, we're just going to the same like how the string has several methods, the same like we have several methods for the arrays too. Okay, so let's see how what all are the array methods are there and how to perform. There are so much of array methods is there, and we going to put our hands dirty with some of them. Okay, so due to the time convenience, we're going to put some of them too. Okay, so there is a method called isArray. So what the isArray method do? Just do it in practical, and I just going to say about there is a method called array.isArray. So this is a method. Okay, so this is used to check whether the given variable is an array or not. Okay, so whether the given variable is array or not. If I say, I just refresh here, and you can get it is true. So if it is written true means it is an array. Okay, if it is written false mean it is not an array. So that is the array.isArray method do. Okay, so the next thing is we're going to see is we're going to check. Okay, so we're going to check whether index of method. Okay, so I just going to remove this. Just going to remove index of method. Okay, so inside is the console.log. I just going to call that array, and I just going to say is index of, and here I just going to call a particular value. Okay, so what this do means, if I call the particular value and it returns the index of that particular value. Now I'm calling the Python and it going to returns the index. So what is the index? 0, 1 and 2. So 2 is the index of the value, right? So 2 is the index of the index of, it shows me an error. Okay, so O should be caps. Okay, so one more thing, we use mostly camel cases. So just type what is meant by lower camel case. Kebab's case is there, camel case is there, but it is pretty good to go with camel cases. Just type Google, you can I understand what is that. Okay, so here you can see the index is written 2. So the Python index for Python is 2. If I put C++ instead of Python, you can get 1. You can get 1 as your index. Here you can see you get 1. Okay, so this returns the index of the array. And the next thing we're going to see about is we're going to see about includes method. Okay, includes. So it returns a boolean value if the given value is present inside an array, it gives a true, whether otherwise it gives false. And here you can see it gives true. So if I return something like C instead of C++, I just return like C, and it's going to return me a false because C is not present. C is not present as a value here. Only C++ is present. Okay, so it is what this index of method do, and it returns the index of the particular method, and this include method is going to check whether the given value is present inside the data type or inside the variable inside the array or not. Okay, so and isArray method is used to for check whether the variable is an array or not. So usually we use this to check. Okay, so the next thing we're going to see is object. We're going to see about how to build an object. Okay, so the object is also a same thing, but instead of here you can see it is accessed by using the indexes, right? So by using numbered indexes, so start from 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So it is used numbered indexes, but in object we use an named indexes. Okay, so today we're going to see about what is the syntax of the object, and we're going to discuss a lot more about objects and loops in the next sessions. Okay, so that in the day 3 of the sections. Okay, so I just going to create an object. So I just go with const, and I just declare a car. So I just going to create an object for a car. So why actually we need a object? Okay, so for example, there is a car. So what are the variable we can create? We can create a variable for what is the color of the car, what is the name of the car, what is the model of the car, and we can create so much of things, right? So same like that, and this is how we create it. And these 3 things like color, model, name, everything is particularly denoting a particular object. That object is called as car, right? So if something that has lots of options, but we need to particularly focus on that object, we can use that object method. Okay, for example, here I just going to use the car method. Okay, so car object. So what I'm going to do, for declaring an object, you need to use the curly braces. Okay, so here we use the square bracket. For declaring an object, we use the curly braces, and here we can describe what we can store all the variables that related to car. Okay, so I just going to say color. I just going to say color of the car, and inside this, and actually this is a variable. Okay, so this is a variable we are declaring inside an object, but don't say this is a variable. Okay, so this is called as property. Okay, so this is called as property. We're going to see that. Okay, we're going to see that soon. So I just going to say red. So the color of the car is red, and you need to give an so it is a string, and you need to give a red, and you need to give a comma for the next property. Okay, and I just going to say name of the car. Okay, so name, and here I just going to say, I just going to use Audi. Okay, so Audi is the name. Okay, so you can see this syntax is similar to variable, the same thing. Okay, so now the color is having the value of red, and the name is having the value of object, and both this color and name is belongs to an object that is called as car. So we are describing the car. So we are creating an object for the car. Okay, so and I just going to add a function inside it. Okay, so if I add a function inside it, like for example, I just going to say like start. Okay, so I like this, and I can add a function here and called with something without a name, and here I just going to say, if someone called that function, I need to call console.log, and here I just want to return a car is start or started, like this. Okay, so inside this is called as property, and we said no. So in string we say the dot length, right? That is called as property. The same like this, here you can see color and name. Okay, so this is called as property, and this is called as, this is a function, normal function, but it belongs to an what? It belongs inside an object. So it is called as methods. So a function inside an object, that is considered as a method. So how can we access this? If I simply call the car console.log, and I simply call the car, and I just refresh here, and you can get, it is an object, and you can get all the so much of things is available. You will get, right? So I want to access the color of the car. What can I do? The same thing what we do for the property and all. So here you can see this is all our methods. Okay, so this is all our method, and length, we see in string the length, the same like if I want to access the color of the car, so I just put a dot and I just call the color. Okay, and I just run it, and here you can see red is get. Okay, so this is how we access a property. And for accessing an method, which means for accessing an function inside that, you need to call that, first of all call that function and followed with a parenthesis. Okay, so followed, if I call that, means you can see red is car, and car is started is there, and it shows unidentified, where it shows unidentified, no problem. Okay, sorry, I just put this. Okay, so I just run here, and here you can see car is started. Okay, so the same, like here you can see everything in JavaScript is an object. I told everything in JavaScript is an object. The same is happened here. Array is also an object, and it has it has an it has a method, and the method is created like same like this. Okay, so this is called as method. So this array is used for checking whether whether the given array is an array or not. The same like this, I created a method for this car, and if I call that start method, what would happen? It displays a message in the console. The car is started. Okay, so this is all about. So this is all about objects. Okay, so that's all for today. So we're going to discuss about loops and also bit more in object in the upcoming section. So I just give the attendance form for the students. Okay, I think you will receive it now. Yeah, so I just posted the attendance form. Okay, so you can fill it. Okay, so you can fill this attendance form to get your participation certificate. And we have successfully completed about what is arrays, objects, and also the methods and all the topics. And thank you so much for coming us, and thank you so much for watching us. And there are 3 more days is left, and one more important information I need to pass. And this workshop is all about JavaScript basics to beginners to advanced, right? So in the next upcoming weeks, we're going to cover advanced to mastering JavaScript also. So that is also a 5 days boot camp. So I hope that everyone will get access for 10 days full-fledged JavaScript free tutorials in this TWD team. So if you have any doubts, you can ask, and you can leave after filling this form. Okay, so there is a 10 days, there is another 5 days is going to happen for JavaScript in the next upcoming weeks. So we going to cover about some of the advanced concept in there, like OOPS concepts, classes, inheritance, prototypes, and all those things. Okay, so I hope this section will be helpful. And if you have any doubt in regarding these sections or anything like that, please contact us in LinkedIn. We would like to help you in LinkedIn platforms, which is a best platform for career development and all. So contact the TWD teams and all those things, and you will get all those things. Okay, so and don't forget to subscribe our channels and give a like and give your valid feedback. What from your side we will hope to improve our from us. Okay, so we will try to improve us. Okay, so give a valid feedback, and if you have any doubts, you can ask, and we can end the meeting within 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so 2 minutes we will wait, and we will end that meeting. Okay, so that tomorrow we're going to see about loops and conditionals, and bit more about objects too. Okay, so today we just covered a little bit about object. We're going to see about more about object in the next classes. Okay, and I think a person asked a question how to convert a first letter itself like that. So you can use several methods are available there. You can use it. Okay, so for the JS, and thank you for asking your doubt in TWD, and hope this section will helpful for everyone. Okay, so we're going to end the section just within a minute. Okay. And students, available for the next 3 days too, and also for the next week, advanced to mastery classes too, and it will help you a lot. Okay, so okay, thank you so much. So see you in the next session. So same timing, 8:30 sharp, we're going to continue our classes. Okay, so in the next, so see you soon.